right, good morning. Welcome back, everyone. How we doing? Welcome home. Good morning, everyone. Morning. Buenos dias. Tesla, Chef, yeah, Tesla's been good, man. Tesla's been good. The longer term looks really good for more, too, which is something I'm really eyeing. The longer term chart's just sort of setting up pretty nicely. So I'm definitely eyeing that one, for sure. Just trying to check something here real quick, guys. Wait for some people to jump in. Buenos dias. Que pasa, güey? All right. Morning. All right, guys. So yesterday, nice day. Pretty much, yeah, I mean, it's one of those days where it just went straight up and, eventually got tired and that was it, right? Straight up, got tired, and that was about it. So really, my main win from yesterday was a swing trade. And I don't think there's anything wrong. If you had a little bit of trouble finding an entry yesterday, I think you actually are right. I only took one trade yesterday. This was the first time in a very long time that I only took one trade. I took an NVIDIA long, and that was it. That was my only trade of the day. The other trade was a Tesla swing trade that we held from the day prior in the group. I wasn't about to chase the straight upside, right? 10, 15 minutes into the market, we were already up, I don't know, maybe 100 points on the NASDAQ. And at that point, I was just like, hey, let me just accept what I've had. I've had a good day. Swing trade on Tesla was sick. And the NVIDIA long off the 452 level we talked about in this live stream was also pretty sick. So, yeah, I mean, if you didn't find an entry yesterday, I don't think you. I think you actually did the right thing, right? Chasing a move like this is never going to be your greatest opportunity, right? We pretty much opened the day and just rocketed. So, if you held a swing trade, great, right? Obviously, nice morning, no stress. But the intraday entries were a little bit difficult, right? And so you guys can watch my video yesterday if you guys want. I know a lot of you guys watch the live streams. If you guys want to watch my video yesterday, that was a post about my trades yesterday, both the swing trade as well as the intraday trade on NVIDIA. I think it's a good example of how I was in some drawdown on that NVIDIA trade, but held on because of my game plan. So feel free to check that one out, guys. Posted it yesterday, some live trades and all that. So let's get started. Today, PPI, FOMC minutes, definitely a major economic data day. Here's my feelings, right? I think from today forward through the end of the week, it's going to be difficult to trade. I think it's going to get more difficult. Monday and Tuesday, sort of gift-like. I'm not going to lie. Monday and Tuesday of this week, somewhat of a gift. Pretty much vertical upside. Some really strong continuation. No sort of fake outs. Just sort of there, right? PPI today, FOMC minutes later, CPI tomorrow. I can only imagine there's going to be some difficult action today and tomorrow, and probably to close the week as well. So I am definitely taking the foot off the gas, right? I've had really good days, Monday and yesterday. Big days. And, no reason to keep pushing it, right, into major economic data, right? Today we have, in 25 minutes, we have PPI, which should cause a little bit of volatility. And then after that, we have FOMC minutes at 2 o'clock today, right? I obviously won't be around at 2 o'clock. If I'm trading at 2 o'clock, someone pull me out of this chair, someone find where I live, and get me the hell out of my office, right? You should not be trading at 2 o'clock. That is not something that is going to be good for long-term success in both trading and also with your mental health and mental stability, right? I would not be sitting in front of your computer from 9:30 to 2 o'clock trying to trade. That is a lot of data to process as a human being. I don't think that's even possible. I don't think it is possible to perform at your top emotionless state for that long of a time, right? You got to think about that. I don't think it is possible for a human to make those decisions to be successful for that long. So, some will, some probably can, but that's not easy, guys. I don't trade past the 11, 12 o'clock. That's where I'm out. That's where my mind starts to turn into a mush. Let's go ahead and pull up the economic calendar today and the schedule. I know you guys are here for the schedule. Economic calendar. Let's pull that up. Dora, what's going on in the chat here? We got a question about you don't know how to get in. Guys, if you join the Discord, right, you just put in your email, okay, when you sign up, You're going to put an email address. You're going to sign up, put your credit card information. That email address that you enter, make sure to look at it, right? When you sign up with an email address, if you put in a fake email, then you're not going to be able to get in, right? If you put in an email that you don't know the password to, you're not going to get in, all right? So you make sure you have a Discord account, right? You have to make sure you have a Discord account. You sign up with your email. You get an email with an invite link, right? Check your email if you signed up. Invite link is there. It connects right to Discord, okay? If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. It's a pretty self-explanatory process, but if you have questions, let me know. You're going to have to reach out to me somewhere else but the live stream, guys. This is not the place to reach out to me about Discord problems, okay? All right, so here we go. Economic data. So today we have PPI, Producer Price Index, 830, right? You guys can see right here. I don't know why PPI is before CPI this time around. It's not typical that way. I'm not sure what the reasoning for this is, but PPI today at 830. We have some Fed presidents speaking around midday today, right? Which could also cause more nonsense in the market, right? You have 10 o'clock, Governor Waller speaking. 12 o'clock, you have President Bostic speaking. And then at 2 o'clock, you have FOMC, right? So this is just a bunch of pretty much an entire day sprinkled with economic data, Fed president speaking, right? So a lot of possible little moves that go on intraday, which you really need to be careful of with options, man, right? One little move off something that the Fed president says intraday could sort of mess up your options. So be a little bit careful today, right? A lot of stuff sort of coming out here. Pretty loaded economic calendar to be aware of. Tomorrow, same thing, right? Jobless claims early morning. You're not going to be swing trading, right? Swing trading things into jobless claims in CPI. That's just insanity to me. So CPI, jobless claims, right? Really big tomorrow morning as well. So you have a lot of stuff sort of going on here from today, pretty much over the next 24 hours. You have a lot of data sort of coming out, a lot of economic events to be cautious of. So make sure you are aware of that entering the market today. Tesla stair-stepping formation. I love this Tesla stair-step that's going on. It continues to hold really nice. And yeah, so Tesla, watching this, I'll sort of break down why I continue to hold just one contract left. I've been pretty much fully out of that trade yesterday after that big squeeze, but I figured why not? Let me hold one contract. Who cares about one contract? So Tesla, will review that. NVIDIA, we'll talk about the beautiful 452 hold. We talked about this level in precision yesterday on the live stream. If you came to the live stream, if you paid attention, the 452 hold on NVIDIA, the entry point for longs was all in this live stream. You could have, using that information here on the live stream to potentially trade it. If you guys caught it, congratulations. This was a beautiful trade in the chat. We traded this one live, and we'll review that here today. Meta, very strong. Excuse me. Meta has woken up. The Zuckerberg has woken up. The Zuck. I hate Meta. I think you guys know that. It's just a stock that I just don't feel comfortable when I enter. I'm instantly like, I don't know what I don't like. I feel uncomfortable when I trade Meta. I don't know why. It's been sort of shitty. It's waking up a little bit. I'll share with you guys my thoughts on this one. AMD 108, key hold on AMD to watch today. Amazon has been probably the weakest tech stock out of everything that I've seen. Amazon has been the really weak one, and it is approaching some very, very big levels above. So interesting watch here on Amazon. Google got stuck at 140 yesterday, and then finally a very big level on Apple. Very big, like the level that we would, if we broke over this 180, you would get into that straight downside that we saw back a few weeks ago. So this is a very big level for Apple approaching that I want to point out. All right, that is the schedule. Let's get into it. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, here we go. What rhymes with Zuck? All right, so what happened yesterday, right? We had this 15,240, 15,250 zone sort of mapped out, that pre-market high. And you know what, guys? I have to be honest with you, right? Yesterday just was not a fantastic day for finding opportunity. The only long opportunity yesterday, right? The only long opportunity, in my opinion, yesterday was a break and retest of this 15,240 in the extreme short term, right? So even if you put your level at the pre-market highs, which are right there, right? You guys can see around that 240. This was the only entry yesterday that made sense, right? Without chasing, in my opinion. So if I go to the 2-minute chart, right, you'll see this even closer. You'll see the break and retest in action. Even though it was very precise and you had to be very quick on it, right? It did show up. You can see it right here. Look at that right there, right? What happened yesterday on the NASDAQ? You had consolidation early morning, right? You held up pretty well. You pushed higher. You squeezed. Now, after the squeeze, look at the pre-market highs right here. See these pre-market highs? Very clear, right? That's the exact level all morning, right here as well. Look how many times you just could not get above 15,240 in the pre-market. Now, what happened intraday? This, and then that was it, right? That was it. This was your entry. That was your entry yesterday. If you didn't catch this entry, break and retest of pre-market highs, which is a very common thing to be looking for. You guys know we talk about that all the time. Yes, I did buy calls, Jeppy. Thank you very much. So you can see right here, 1, 2, 3 pre-market high rejections, and then you have this break and retest of pre-market highs. That's around the time where I felt like, we would get that continuation. I didn't, continue to chase longs here. I had longs in the morning using that NVIDIA level, looking for that upside. But this was just pretty much from that point forward, it was just chase the systematic grind, right? And I just don't really like those days. I don't really perform well without getting, heavy pullbacks that I can sort of take advantage of, or heavy rejection, right, breaks and then rejections that I can take advantage of. This was sort of just that, let's just continue to go higher until we're not. And that's just sort of tough. That's a tough trade, right? Because every single point here, you don't know if it's going to flip on you. And you just keep chasing higher highs and higher lows. And that's just hard mentally to be a part of, right? And so the reason why I think it was smart to stay out of it, which is something you will typically always see, is this, right? This will happen, right? Without pullbacks, a stock market, I would say 90, who knows the percentage, but a very high percent, right, of days, you will never just see this just continue all day, right? If this continued all day, right, I would have been shocked. I don't know if I've ever seen that, where this just continued all day without something of a pullback. So if you're not getting it, guys, right, if you're not getting that pullback you want, don't chase it, right? Don't just chase it. Something will come. You just have to either wait for it. So you can see eventually everyone that started chasing the longs, right, all up in here, they get smacked, right? That's a smacking. That's a major smacking. So I think if there was anything to take away from yesterday, guys, the one thing I would say is that if you see this, don't just keep chasing it, okay? I don't care if you miss out on Tesla upside, NVIDIA upside, whatever upside you're missing out on. I just don't think there's an advantage in the long term to just chasing something that has not given you pullback entries. So that's pretty much all that yesterday did. If you didn't catch the break and retest of 15,240 pre-market highs, I really don't see a single good entry yesterday. That was the only entry that I would say made sense yesterday, right here. If you didn't catch this one, I would not be upset with yourself if you missed out on this move, right? And the only reason I took advantage of this move, which I got somewhat lucky, right, is because I had a swing trade on Tesla from the day prior, right? I had a swing trade on Tesla from the day prior, but there was good reason, right, to swing trade that Tesla trade. So that's NASDAQ for now. Today, I'm watching these two levels, right? Same level from yesterday, right? So I'm not going to be short the NASDAQ back into that hold from yesterday. You guys can see right there. I'm not going to be short the NASDAQ back into the level it held yesterday, right? That's clear. So no shorts today back into this level, 15,240. We also have the 50 and 100 SMA just sitting right here, which is very interesting. Very strong hold right at it this morning. You can see right here, right? 50 and 100 SMA just sort of going across the screen here, sort of maintaining this price action. And then above, right, on the upside, your next major supply here is right at this triple top, right? This is a big triple top here. Let me go to the 1 hour chart and get 90 days. Look at where we're trading into here on the NASDAQ futures. This is a pretty big level. If I can zoom in. Right here, right? Look at this. This is back from September 18th, 19th, 20th, right? Right here. Look at this. See that triple top? 1, 2, 3. And then that caused, right, this rejection caused the downside. So where are we trading back into? We're trading back into that level, right? We're trading back into that level. So you can see right here, 1, 2, 3, right? Rejections pushing into that level. That is going to be your concern to be long today. Right up there, 15,440. It's about 100 points higher, right? That is your concern on the NASDAQ. If you see upside, you need to be cautious being long into that 440 area. 440, 450, that's a big area over here, right? That's a big area on the left side here, back from September, okay? So 15,440, 15,450, that's your major supply above. The demand below that I would not be shorting into is at yesterday's pre-market highs, and you can see there's your channel, right? There's your channel for today, right in that general zone, right? You can also put a level at these lows from yesterday that held pretty damn well around this 180 area. I think that's a decent area to put a level as well. Let me make this a little bit smaller. So you can see, right? Pre-market highs from yesterday, pre-market lows here, right? And then you guys can see the upside supply above, okay? What is everyone going crazy about in the chat? 9 EMA every time for what are we talking about here? Anyways, all right. So 15,240, 15,180, 15,440. Right there's your levels. There's your SMAs. Very clear today. You just trade off these levels, right? If this thing comes down, look for demand. If this thing breaks down, look for demand. If this thing goes up, watch for supply. If it breaks and holds above, look for longs. If it breaks and holds below here, look for that short, right? Just playing off every single level. If we see the stock at the level, we look for the reactions. That's it. All right? We'll see what happens in a few minutes on data. All right, the only thing I have for you on the QQQ, I'm only telling you one thing on the QQQ. That's the only thing I'm about to tell you on the QQQ. And it is 372. 372. That's the only thing I'm going to say, right? And here's why. You have had multiple reactions at $372 on the QQQ over the last 6 months, right? Right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a little bit 8, but a little bit over 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? Look how many times the QQQ has made some type of a reactionary move off 372. So the last time the market broke down, where was it off of? 372, right? Where is the QQQ going into? 372. That's all I have for you. You better be watching 372. You're not longing into this level, right? If it starts to reject there, watch for the downside. If you get above this level, that's really where things could continue. 372 on the QQQ. Go to the 4-hour chart. There are countless times that we have rejected, right? Found support, turned into rejections. Sort of a support here, rejections, all at the same exact level. and that is at 372. All right? That's all I got for you on the Qs. ES. So the ES, obviously we'll look at it again after data, but here's the level that you're watching here on the ES. It's 44.20, right? And so I got to sort of go back on the 4-hour chart to give you guys this level. I know it might be a little difficult to see, but here it is right here. This is 44.20. You guys can see this little low here. This is back in June. You can see this little low off the 44.20 level right here, right? 44.20, previous low on the 4-hour chart. If we go over, we have this little support, 44.20. We have support here, 44.20. And if we continue to move over, you have this rejection, 44.20. And look at where yesterday's highs was, right? That's no coincidence, okay? Look at where yesterday's highs was, 44.20. So that is the level you're watching today. If you can get above 44.20 on the ES, I think you quickly go to 44.60, right? If you break and hold above 44.20, I think that quickly rallies into 44.60. Why is that? It is because of this straight downside back from September 20th. If I go to the hourly chart, you guys can see right here, there is no resistance here, right? Between 44.60 and 44.20, there is no resistance. If this gets above, right, and starts to squeeze, this is going to very quickly go 40 points to the upside because there's just nothing stopping it in this zone. It's like a vacuum. This is vacuum zone, right? There's no previous heavy price action in that area in the short term. So I would assume if you get a solid break and hold over 44.20 today, you could probably catch that upside towards that 50 and that 100 SMA above, which lines up pretty clear at 44.60, right? See this 50 and 100 SMA sort of lined up right there at 44.60. That's probably your target if you break and hold above 44.20. That's if you break and hold above 44.20, right? That's a big if, right? It's not Vincent said it's going to go to 44.60 and you saw a rejection of 44.20 yesterday. That's if the ES can get above 44.20 and actually hold above that level. Then I would look for that, okay? But we could also still see, right, those 44.20 rejections today, which is a very important level as well. So 44.20, 44.60, those are the two upside supplies. To the downside, I think you're really, again, just watching yesterday's pre-market highs, right? Similar to the NASDAQ. I think you watch the 4,400, and I think you watch this 43.80, right? I think you watch the 4,400 level, which is obviously important, and you also watch the 43.80, right? Guys, let's not talk about the 9 EMA in the chat. Okay, this is not a 9 EMA morning lesson. All right, let's move forward from that. I think it's very distracting. 9 EMA, reach out to someone on the DMs, talk about it at a different time. You're not going to be able to teach anyone about the 9 EMA in a YouTube live voice chat when we have PPI in 5 minutes. It's just not going to work, okay? You can watch some videos on YouTube about the 9 EMA if you're interested, but let's not flood the chat with 9 EMA talk. All right, 4,400 on the ES, very important level, right? 43.80, 20 SMA, very important level, right? And then 44.20, right? The upside supply, that's that major supply today. So if we see 44.20 get tested today, that is the level to be watching, right? You either look for that break and hold above or that rejection of 44.20 today. That's really the key. To the downside, it's a little bit difficult, but I will say, right, this will spark my interest if we get this on both the NASDAQ and the ES today. Here's what will spark my interest. If we get a break of yesterday's pre-market lows, that is where I think things really could break down, right? On both the NASDAQ and the ES. So, right, look, this is the NASDAQ, all right? Pay attention to this, not the 9 EMA, okay? This is the NASDAQ. This is your pre-market low on the NASDAQ, right? Right here around this 15,170. If you end up seeing aggressive downside today, right, and you do get under that pre-market low, that's really where things could break down, right? Because that is sort of that structure point in the short term. Under that, you give up all of this upside, right? Same thing on the ES. If you move under pre-market lows on the ES right here, you give up all of that upside from Monday, right? Because this pre-market area, this is your next very important structure in the short term on the market, right? This is your structure point right there on the ES. The same with the NASDAQ, right? Where did structure form? Right here, right? That's structure. Structure, you have the lows 15,170, the highs 15,240, right? You have your structure highs, your structure lows, right? So if we do pull back to that level, do we get a hold at that previous high, right? Do we maybe get a hold at that previous low, right? That would still be looking for longs there at this high or this low. But if we break this low, right, that's where I think things get a little bit aggressive to the downside. If you break this yesterday's low, right? So paying attention to previous day levels, guys, I think that's very important. And I would be focusing on that, right? For you guys that come here and actually pay attention. So 15,240, 15,170, those are the levels to watch. And yeah, we'll see what happens on data in about 1.5 minutes. Same thing on SPY, guys. Concept remains the same, okay? Yesterday's highs, right? That's what you're watching. Yesterday's highs, you're watching pre-market lows, right? Same concepts across the board on everything. 434, 432, 437. Let's relook at it after data, all right? Let's see what happens here, guys. PPI, we'll see what the movement is. If you guys could, press that like button. Appreciate that. You ever seen someone drink espresso out of a red cup? All right, so 30 seconds till PPI data. We'll watch the live reaction here. If you guys could, press that like button for me. We got 2,042 people. I could just run an ad right as PPI comes out. Maybe I'll do that in about 20 seconds. I'll just smash an ad within, right as PPI comes out, ad. No, I wouldn't do that. But if you could, press the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. All right. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. And bam. Okay. A little downside. Let's see where it goes. Let's see where it goes. Okay, getting bought up a little bit at the 4,400. Change time frame. No. I'm not going to change time frame. Okay, I want to look at it on this time frame. So 4,400, right? You missed your calling. You should be a high school teacher. Yeah, I'll be maybe a professor one day. Switch to the 5. No, man. I'm not going to. Okay? I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm not going to change the time frame. Thank you very much. All right, so 4,400, right? Looks like it's holding up a little bit. NASDAQ sort of pulling back to this 50 and 100 SMA, right? So I'm thinking that pullback to yesterday's pre-market highs could be that spot, right? I think it could be that spot. Let's see what the numbers look like. PPI 2.7 versus 2.3. Year over year 2.2 versus 1.6. So the core was hot. Month over month, slightly higher. Yeah, I mean, slightly higher on the PPI numbers. I'm just going to focus on the market reactions, man. And so for now, right, what have you guys, what have you seen this week? Especially this week and last week. You have seen downside on economic data, people shorting into a hole, and the market rallying to the upside. So we're not going to take the fact that PPI numbers are slightly elevated and just go out there and start shorting the market today. You do that, you're going to lose money. Maybe you win. Long term, I guarantee you that you lose. Right? We're not going to go out there and start shorting the market because of hot economic numbers. That has not transpired into anything of correlation, right? There's been no correlation on the intraday stock movements because of economic data. None, right? Especially recently, right? So, so now we're grammar police in the chat. Oh, okay, that's where we're going now. Oh, interesting. Okay, all right. So 4,400, right? 4,400. You guys can see is holding, right? Very clear hold there on 4,400 on ES, and then that 50 and 100 SMA is also holding, right? So these levels are holding, right? These levels are holding. So monitor these, right? This 15,240 still down below, still could be demand. That 50 and 100 still holding as well. ES 4,400 still sort of maintaining itself here. So important levels to watch. All right. We'll take a quick look at the Dow just because why not? Yeah, it looks like Dow is that 20 SMA and this previous high right here. That looks to be the area. What is that? 34,100? Yeah, around that 34.1 today on the Dow, guys. If you're watching Dow Jones, you trade the Dow, I would say watch that 34,100 and that 20 SMA, okay? And then on the Russell, 20 SMA as well, right? You can see that 20 SMA rejection on the Russell. I'd watch that as well. So that 20 SMA acting as a little bit of resistance on the Dow and the Russell. And overall, guys, once again, I'll say this again, the Russell is in a very tight channel that it probably will continue to trade in. All right, so you got your NASDAQ levels. You got your ES levels. I think those are the most important levels to pay attention to today. Let's now jump into some individual stocks, right? Hold on. I don't want to lose sight of this 43.90 either. There's a lot of levels to sort of be paying attention to below here. It's like I'm going to make this... It's this 4,400. It's this pre-market low, right? And then it's yesterday's pre-market lows are all, I think, pretty key levels here. So I want to make sure I have these on my charts before we switch, right? Because you can see 4,400, that's key, right? You can see yesterday's lows, right? This low from late day, pre-market low, right? So I want to be watching that as well. And then I also want to be watching yesterday's pre-market highs, right? So a lot of interesting levels right there. You could watch that 20 SMA. You could watch this 4,400, right? A lot of levels to be watching there on the intraday today, right? These could all be very important reactionary levels, right? I could maybe get a long off 4,400. I could get a long off the 43.90 today. I could look for longs off that 20 SMA and that 43.80 as well, right? So definitely want to have these on your charts. This is an interesting little low here around 43.90 as well. All right, let's go over. Yeah, I didn't go SPY. I'll go SPY real quick, and then we got to get into some stocks here, guys. So SPY, hourly chart, that big level, right, where I think you need to break above before you can get continuation to the upside is this 437, right? You can see right here, this very aggressive downside on SPY. See this very aggressive straight downside on SPY? That will potentially, right, we can potentially move higher through that area if we get over 437 today. 437, yesterday's highs, that's what you watch. Very easy, right? And I think above that 437, you could possibly get that upside continuation, right here. Above 437, I think there's very sort of clear areas on the ES to move higher. On the SPY, or maybe a little bit of caution around that 100, a little bit of caution around that 50, right? A little bit of caution around the 100 and the 50 above. But I think overall, above 437, I think there's a reason to look for more upside. Here's why. Here's another reason why I think so. If you go to the 4-hour chart, right? 4-hour chart here on the SPY, you can see right here, 437 were major previous lows right here, 437, 437. If you can get above that 437 and you hold it, I think you will fill this straight downside move relatively quickly. The only concern is the 50 and the 100. So it pretty much lines up with the ES there, right? You can see on the ES, the straight down movement over 44.20. I'm still thinking if you can get above 44.20, you can get that continuation. But that is all dependent, again, if you can actually get over 44.20 today. Can you actually break over yesterday's highs? If you do not, then I would be very cautious chasing the upside, right? I'd be cautious trusting the upside if we cannot get over 44.20, right? That's the key. The key for continuation today is 44.20. If you don't get that, then I'm going to say that it could be a little bit choppy today in anticipation of maybe FOMC minutes, right? We could just have sort of an inside day, right? If we're under 44.20, be careful getting too aggressive on that upside. Ray Trades, thank you for everything you do, man. Love the energy, sarcasm, comments, and everything. Yeah. Thank you, brother. All right, let's continue. Tesla. So Tesla's been a beauty. It's been a beauty of a trade. Look at Tesla here. So Tesla has just done the stair-step dance, man. This has been a beautiful stair-stepping formation, and this is what you love to trade, right? Look how clean this is. You have previous highs that turned into previous lows. You have previous highs that are potentially turning into new lows. This is called stair-stepping, right? And I love this structure. You have highs that turn into new lows, right? Right here. Then you have new highs that then need to turn into new lows, right? So you continue to trade this until it breaks, right? And when it breaks, then you know that momentum can shift, right? But look at how clean this market structure is, right? And so what are you looking for today? Why did I long, right? If you go to my video yesterday, you'll learn about why I long Tesla overnight. But why did I long Tesla on Monday, right? Why did I long Tesla on Monday when it was down towards 252? Well, all I'm doing is trusting market structure, guys, right? At some point, you have to trust the structure on the chart. You have to trust it. If you can't trust it, you're not going to trade, right? If you can't trust taking risks, then you're not going to be able to trade. So I said to myself, you have previous highs, right? You have the previous day low. You have the 50 SMA, right? You have a lot of reasons that Tesla can maintain the 252 level, right? So I'm longing off this level, right? And I'm going to put a stop loss under, right? And I'm going to look for that risk reward for that upside. Here it is, right? You guys know if you're part of the chat, right here on the 9th, 12:18 p.m., opening at Tesla, October 20th, 255 call, right? This is what the chart looked like at the time. We were longing it off this area right here, right? So yesterday, realized about $4,400 in profit on that trade, right there. So a very nice long, right? And why did I long there, right? Most people probably were like, oh, Tesla's dead, man. Tesla's dead, right? Because it's down in the pre-market. No, right? Forget about what it's doing pre-market. Zoom out and actually look at the structure of the market. This was actually a beautiful long opportunity. And here's your leg higher, right? So what are you looking for today, right? Now you're looking for these previous highs to create new long opportunities, right? This is your new long opportunity right here. If the market doesn't get, if the market holds itself up, of course, right? I'm not going to long Tesla at 262 if the Nasdaq's going straight down, right? That's just another thing you have to be paying attention to overall to be successful trading. But if the market's maintaining itself and you see Tesla starting to find some demand down here, here's your next long entry. Every time it hits 262, right? And your short entry's above until maybe it does the next leg and creates the next stair step. And we do it all over again, right? It's the same thing over and over again. You just have to be able to spot it, right? Maybe on the larger term time frame. So where would I look to long Tesla today, right? I would only look to long Tesla around here, right? Around this 262. You're not longing Tesla at 270 today, right? You're looking to long Tesla around 262. And if Tesla breaks under 262 and it starts to turn into a rejection, then what does that mean, right? What does that mean? That means there is a break in market structure. There is a potential change in momentum on the stock, right? Because look, there has been no point over the last few weeks that Tesla has broken under a previous high, right? Right? There's no point in the previous few weeks that Tesla has broken under a previous high and has turned a previous high into rejections. It has only made previous highs into new lows. So if you see a flip, right, where Tesla now turns 262 back into rejections, then you're shorting, right? Then you're shorting, right? So This is beautiful, man. This is textbook. I love this. Like, this is so clean. You can make decisions off this all day long. Long here, short here, right? If it's under, short above, short below, right? It's very clear to make decisions. It all depends on if you trust what you're looking at, if you have the ability to risk some money, and if you're willing to be wrong, right? That's what it comes down to. You could long here all day last week. You could short up here all day last week, right? There was no opportunity to short yesterday, right? So you actually probably would have avoided being wrong here, even if you were looking to short the 262. There was never a reason to short 262 yesterday, right? There is no, hey, Tesla looks like it's getting weak at 262. No, this thing was a pure rocket ship by jet fuel through 262 yesterday. So what are you looking for today? Very easy, guys. You're not trading in the middle, right? Whoever traded in this area on Tesla got absolutely chopped and screwed, right? If you traded in here on Tesla, chopped and screwed. No idea what's going to happen there. Same exact thing here. You're either waiting for a pullback to long 262 or a push to short 270. One of the two, all right? One of the two. All right, NVIDIA. So 1 hour chart on NVIDIA, very clear. I mean, it couldn't have been clearer on NVIDIA either, actually. So here's the 1 hour chart on NVIDIA, right? You guys can see right here. 30-minute chart. Let's go 30-minute. Yeah, I mean, look what NVIDIA did. NVIDIA, first of all, has been holding this beautiful uptrend for a few weeks now. Look how clean that is. That's just a sort of a rope to the upside. And so now you are sitting at pretty major supply here at 463, right here. 463, right? Pretty major supply. And then you have this top here at 463 again, right? From yesterday. So what are you watching today? 463. If you get above 463 and you hold above it, this is moving higher, right? If you break and hold above this previous high and yesterday's high, you're moving higher. So watch for a break above 463, okay? Keep an eye on that. Now, if we pull back, right, look at what happened yesterday. Look at what happened. Why did I long NVIDIA off 452 yesterday? Well, first of all, go watch my video. All right, we're going to delete that message. Okay, probably should just report you for that message, but we're going to delete that message. Goodbye. Thank you very much. Okay, 452, right? So you have that previous high here, 452. This is why you can go watch my analysis in my video yesterday, why I looked to long NVIDIA off this level yesterday. Clear as day, break and retest of this previous high, beautiful upside yesterday. So today, 463, 452, that's your zone to watch. If you get market weakness today, this could be a great short, right? If you get market weakness today, this could be a great short, right? So make sure you watch that as well. This is supply at the end of the day. So if you see NASDAQ weakness, look for that short. If you see NASDAQ strength, then look for the break and hold above, okay? All right, Meta, AMD, Amazon. I quickly want to show you guys something before I forget. I am not opposed to potentially fading the energy upside. I'm not opposed to it. I'm going to be interested in this. Here's why, right? Look at this sort of break and retest rejection that's going on the XLE, right? You guys can see right here, previous lows at 89, previous highs at 89, and look at the struggle that the XLE is having again at 89 and the 50 SMA. I'm probably not going to get in this trade, right? Because energy moves too much off of macroeconomic events, which I don't enjoy about trading oil or trading energy, right? I don't want a stock that is pretty much only driven by macros because I don't follow the macros close enough to understand them. But that is technically a very interesting rejection spot if you're interested in fading the energy upside that you have seen. I don't know for sure. I don't know the macros behind it, so I'm not going to get involved personally. But something you could watch if you are interested in fading that upside. That is a nice technical rejection spot. However, that technical rejection spot will not hold up if something in the economic events causes the upside to come in, right? All right, so you guys can see right here, Apple. You know what? Before we go to Apple, if you guys could press the like button, I'm going to run an ad. Run a little ad. Let me take a little sip. Let me take a break for a second, and then we'll jump into Apple. Someone boot Japai. Japai, I'm not going to boot you, man, because I think it's probably your first time, but whatever ticker you send in the chat, probably not going to happen, man. Yeah, that's exactly right, first and last. You know, if you had a Discord that was free, it would be an absolute disastrous, destruction, toxic, disgusting place. Trust me. All right, so you should be back. Welcome back. If you. All right, so Apple, right? Very clear levels, right? Very clear levels. 180, right? Look how important this 180 level is on Apple. Look at what happened before 180, right? Look at what happened before 180. Before 180, right? We had straight downside on Apple, right? Right here, straight downside on Apple. Bam. Straight down. So if we get above that level, it could be up to around that 180, 181, which I'm a little bit cautious of, right? Maybe up to this 181 area on the 4 hour. But if you get back above that level, right? If you get above that level on Apple, this feels like it could sort of move higher, right? Very quickly. Straight down movement. This 181, 180 area is going to be very important on Apple. Let me get a little bit more time here so we can look at this on the hourly. You guys can see right here on the hourly chart, right? You have that sort of high here around 181. You have these highs here around this 179, 180, right? So I think this entire zone, honestly, between 181 and 180 is going to be pretty difficult. So just be aware of that, right? As you get upside on Apple, be aware of these sort of supply highs that have stepped in before around this 180, 181, right? And if the market does find weakness, you could look to fade this again, right? You could look to fade this again around that 180, 181. However, I would not short Apple if it's above this 177, right? 177 held very nicely yesterday, right? This 177 demand. So as of right now, Apple's trading in about a 3-point range. I would look to long the 177s and short the 181s, right? I would look to long the 177, short the 181s. If you can get above the 181, that would be interesting for me for more upside of continuation, because that's a break of some very important sort of structure over the last, right? Here's sort of your entire structure here over the last, the last month, right? You can see right here, this is like a whole sort of block of price action over the last month. A break over 181 breaks out of this block, right? So that could cause sort of a reactionary move. So I'll be watching it, right? I'll be watching it to see what happens around that 181. I would recommend paying attention to that as well, okay? AMD, Amazon, Google. AMD, Amazon, Google. So AMD has sort of been in its stair-stepping grind as well, right? Look at this market structure again. Look how this is moving higher, right? This is very interesting how this is moving higher. Carmine. What's up, Carmine? You smoke a cigar yet this morning? How many cigars deep is Carmine this morning? I wonder. Carmine, when are you coming to Miami? So 105, right? AMD, 105 AMD, right? Previous high. Look what it did, right? Look what it did on Monday. AMD, we talked about this in the live stream. We talked about AMD turning the previous highs into support on Monday. That's exactly what it did, right? Break and hold above 105. Very clear. Now, what did AMD do yesterday? AMD turned the previous day highs into support again, 108, right? Look at this. Again, break and retest. Previous highs into support. So, you guys can see right there, you break above 108, you hold it above, right? So today, you can watch 108. 108, very important level, right? That's the level to watch, 108. You have to hold above that. If you don't hold above that, then you're going to reject, right? You're going to reject. 108 is the key level to watch. Now, on the upside, right, you're approaching some pretty major stuff. You're approaching a pretty major rejection here at 111, and you also have the 111, and you also have the 100 SMA, right? So you've been stair-stepping pretty nice, right? Previous lows, new highs, previous highs into support, previous highs into support. You've been on this nice little trending market higher, but I would be a little bit cautious on AMD into 111 today. That is also the 100 SMA, right? Look at this 100 SMA right here. 100 SMA, 111. On top of that, previous pretty major rejection point. If I go back a little bit further, pretty major rejection point around this 111 as well, and that 100 SMA. So that's where I would be cautious of today, all right? 111 on AMD. All right, I want to talk to you about this Amazon level because if we see market weakness, this is my place to short, right? This is where I'm looking to short today. If I see market weakness at all moving forward, I am going to be targeting this Amazon level. If we get above this level, I will be just as equally interested in upside, right? Just as equally interested in upside if we break this level, right? But you guys can see right here. You can see right here. This is a very important level on Amazon. Previous lows. What did those previous lows turn into on Amazon? Those previous lows turned into a double top high, right? That needs to tell you something. If that doesn't tell you anything, then you need to start listening. You need to start getting a hang of it, right? That needs to tell you something. Previous double bottom lows turning into double top highs. What does that tell you? That tells you that there is weakness, right? And I remember us catching this Amazon downside. If you guys were here, this was sexiness of a downside move on Amazon. I think some of you probably caught that with me. Why is that such an easy trade, right? That's not a hard trade to catch, guys. I'm going to tell you the honest truth, right? This is not a hard trade to catch to the downside if you just believe in technical levels, right? There is nothing more clear than a double bottom low on the 1 hour chart turning into a double top high on the 1 hour chart, right? That is just as clean as it's going to ever get for you. That is a break and hold, previous lows being unable to hold and turning it into rejections. That is what you look for on the market. So what is happening today, right? What could potentially happen today? You're going to move back into that 132 area, right? And so does that 132 area where you previously rejected here, does that turn into another rejection point? And could we just fade this move and see this just be, right? Is this the top of the channel, right? Is this where you got to think in the future, right? Is this where we walk into the live stream next week and say, holy shit, what a great channel high rejection that was on Amazon, right? Are we going to walk into next week and say, holy shit, Amazon rejected 132 again? It really wasn't that hard to catch, right? You just have to put some trust in it. Put some trust in it and see if the market aligns. So if I see NASDAQ weakness today, if I see the market get sort of weak, this could be a nice little fade, right? And on the flip side, if Amazon is able to break above that 132 and hold, that's a very important flip, right? That's a flip. This was previous highs turning into new lows. That's the same flip that happened here, right, is happening potentially there. Hopefully that makes sense, guys, because that is just that's, I think, the easiest explanation you're ever going to get about the market. And this is why these levels are so important to trade off of, right? You're going to see reactions off 132. And I would make sure you watch it, right? I would make sure you watch it. Amazon, Google. Google's the last one, and then we're out of here. Holy shit, it's late. We got to get out of here. Press that like button. All right, all I got for you on Google is 140. That's all I got. 140. Watch it. Watch for 140 rejections or 140 break and retest to the upside. That's it. 140 on Google. Big level. Pay attention to it. If you guys could, press that like button for me. This dude is addicted to the ES. Well, if you're not, then you're probably not successful at trading. Because if you're not watching the ES, then you're probably trading with one eye blind. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you guys could. That would be very much appreciated. Continue to support the channel. I appreciate you guys for being here. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the technicals. Hope you get some value out of it. Hope you find some entertainment as well when we go on some tangents, when we, clap some people out of the chat. I enjoy that more than anything, honestly. I need a little bit of that in my life. I'd rather do it here than do it somewhere else. So keep on saying stupid shit. I love it. We'll get them out. Ban them. Ban them from the chat. All right, guys. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. As always, thank you for being here. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Yeah. Peace.